say that literally music saved my teenager years. I've been like touring around Europe like kind of constantly with metal bands, and I also did one American tour. Like really helped and changed my way of approaching so many things in life.
Yeah.
Like
it's only in the eyes of the ones watching your stuff and listening to your stuff that can decide if something is good, great, or bad.
I mean, and still it's something subjective, you know?
Yeah.
Get good beats. Like it takes time to learn how to make a good beat. Lil Nas X could be buying a beat from my beat store in this moment, but I don't know.
Welcome to another episode of Music Career Podcast. Today is a special episode. I'm talking to Alessandro Santilli, also known as Dr. Aven Beats. We've been talking for a while and we decided to make an episode together. Alessandro makes one beat per day. That's what I call commitment. Welcome, Alessandro.
What's up, guys? What is up, bro? Like, thank you so much for having me here. I've been like looking forward to that since we talked, and we're finally doing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've also been looking forward to this. Like, you feel like a really down to earth kind of person, and I can see your commitment in the way you talk and the way you produce music every single week. So I've also really looked forward to this.
Awesome.
So can you just tell me who is Dr. Aven Beats?
Yeah, so let me do a little bit of let me give you a little bit of background and of my story. So basically, as you said, my name is Alessandro. I usually go by Alex because it's easier for foreign people. And basically, Alex is just a guy that was born in Italy in a very, very small city called Rieti, and which is like an hour to Rome, the capital. And so I basically was always kind of the guy who was like the little a little bullied as well in school. Like I wasn't like really, I didn't have like such a huge personality. I was always like getting in not really in trouble when I was young, but when I was like a kid. But I was always like always outside of the cool groups of people and stuff like that, you know. So when I was basically like my father is a guitarist, is a piano player as well, and my mom is really passionate about music. But until I was 14, I wasn't really I didn't want to really play any instrument. I listen to music here and there, like some hip hop or maybe some rock or maybe some pop music, but I wasn't like really into that. Or even if like all my family was like, dude, like just try and play, let your father teach and stuff like that. When I was 14, then like I started developing a huge passion for the drums. And right after my birthday, I got my first drum kit that I'm glad I could like play all day long in my father's house because he lives like in the country. So I started there, and I can say that literally music saved my teenager years because I was like a kind of that kind of teenager who is like very rebellious against their parents. I didn't have such a huge traumas in my life, but having been like so like always being bullied in school, etc., then having found music made me, really like even more rebellious, and I was like doing crap stuff all around my little town with a couple of friends of mine. We were doing like crazy shit, like getting drunk, driving around without a license, and all those kind of stuff that like crazy teenagers do when they are in a town that there's basically nothing to do. So basically music saved me from any addiction, anything like really that could have gotten really bad. So then when I was 21, I started like really working as a session drummer for metal bands. First in Italy, also the years before, but then from 2013 to 2016, I've been like touring around Europe like kind of constantly with metal bands, and I also did one American tour. I was playing like a very like extreme metal genre, like death metal and stuff like that. And I was also playing with a Swedish group, by the way. I know you're Swedish, yeah. So.
All right.
And
what's that band? What's that band?
I don't know if they are still together. It's Vomitus, actually. They are from from Stockholm, basically. They're Stockholm based.
Yeah.
And so yeah, basically that's like my background before I started producing. So in the long story short, in the summer of 2015, I started getting really depressed on a tour, and getting depressed at home while getting depressed on a tour is a totally different thing. When you're at home, you're in your sort of comfort zone. When you're in a tour and you are constantly with other people that you two don't really like, and the frustration and the depression gets bigger and bigger. So after that tour finished, I realized I couldn't do that anymore. It was like something that I couldn't keep on doing. So I started producing like that autumn, so autumn 2015. With a very good friend of mine, which is called Lorenzo, and he's actually a very crazy keyboard player, piano player, composer. He's playing like with some Italian pop artists and stuff like that. So I started producing with him. I started studying music production and audio engineering that the same autumn, while keeping on playing drums. Then 2016, I bought a Mac, the computer I still have, and I left drums, and so I started producing, and I started producing mainly electronic music. Because I was like a huge fan of Skrillex, and and then Jaws, and then Ghastly, and then all that American scene of producers. And so I started making beats in the first months, I believe in January 2017. I started making beats then, and like for like a couple friends that are rappers, and they were always telling me for like 2 years, publish those beats, like sell those beats, bro. You're good, whatever. I was focused on DJing and producing electronic music, but then I found like a huge struggle, and I found myself in an environment that I didn't really like. I'm not like judging bad like the electronic environment or whatever. It was just nothing for me, as well as for the metal environment. It wasn't like something that I felt mine, and that I felt good in anymore. So finally, I decided, also thanks to my girlfriend, which like she really helped me. This March, on the 25th, I published my first beat. And I'm sorry if I've been like too long, too talkative, but I wanted to give you a complete square of who I am, like my background and stuff like that. So one other thing, like I was before starting Dr. Aven, I was literally having like on my block notes like a day, like 10 different projects I was working on, like Dr. Aven, then electronic music, then other stuff online for marketing, and then I'm also working at a kind of day job, and also other freelancing jobs. And then my girlfriend took me and told me, dude, are you fucking getting crazy out of all this stuff? Just pick 2 or 3 things and go for them. And on the music side, which is like for me is the main side of my life, I decided to just like start this Dr. Evan thing, like 6 months ago, basically, and that's it.
So that's actually just leading me into the next question, which is like, why did you choose beat making? But you told me like you were in the electronic EDM genre, but it wasn't for you.
I believe I choose beat making because I've never felt like so free in creating what I do, in expressing like the feelings that I have, or just making, I don't want to sound too romantic, but or just making what you feel at the moment, just enjoying the process. It was something that I had at first with electronic music, but then at a certain point I didn't have anymore. And same thing with drums and all the stuff. So that's probably why. And I feel so free because if you go on my catalog, you can actually go through, I don't know, 4 dark ambient trap type beats, and then you may find a lo-fi beat and a boom bap beat, and then maybe a party bouncy trap type beat and stuff like that, and I love this. I love this.
You love the creativity. You don't want to like put yourself in like one spot. You like doing all the kinds of genres.
Absolutely. I feel that an artist or a producer or whatever should have like a a genre that it's in some ways its identity. And but like for me, for example, the things I love the most are lo-fi and very dark introspective beats, and so basically very different vibes, but I really love them both. And probably as soon as I finish my 365, which is going to be 366 because the next year is a leap year, daily beat challenge, I will definitely probably, I don't know, but I will probably focus more on those 2 sides, but I will see then,
Yeah. So what's your view on the music business at the moment?
Okay. On the music business, I think it's no different from any other business, like, of course it's different because it's a field of, the whole world business. But at the same time, I believe the rules are kind of the same. I believe that the music business is something that we should not demonize as the producers, rappers, artists, whatever, but we should instead study as much as we can and adapt to the changes that are going on constantly, and especially if you want to like build a brand, build a career out of it. Because in my opinion, like what I really see around me most of the times is that people aren't really focused on the process. They're more focused on the goals, but not the process. But
Yeah.
I believe that to reach your goals, you have first to focus on the process, which means focusing on the small, like daily actions, you know. So having a
Yeah.
plan, having a daily plan, a weekly plan, a monthly plan, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. And what I feel that we are missing most of the times, but I talk sometimes for myself as well, you know, when I started or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
is that we tend to focus more on the fact I want to like 3x platinum record. I want a couple $1 million in my bank, and you know I want to have like a Mercedes and you know a huge villa and whatever.
Yeah.
That I truly believe is achievable doing everything as of now, because thank I don't know who we have internet, you know, so it's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
But to get there, you know, you have to work your ass off. Like you have to work hard, and
Yeah.
so you have to love and focus on the process. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is like also like you shouldn't just love the goal. Like you shouldn't love you want, let's say you want to make music and you love making music and you want to do that at a professional level and you want to be able to afford food on the table just by
No.
making music. But the thing is like I do really believe that you have to love like every small little thing that's gonna take you there as well. I mean, just by editing videos,
Yeah.
you need to like love progressing and love becoming better at stuff. Even if it's just like mailing people. Of course, there's a few things that aren't that much fun as like when you sit there and produce music, but
Absolutely.
you shouldn't. I don't think that you should feel like, oh my god, this is so boring, because then maybe I don't know. What's your thought on that?
Actually, I definitely agree with that. At the same time, I cannot pretend that, you know, like, I don't know, making, like editing videos or, DMing people or getting back to the comments, the DMs is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
fun, right? Like
No,
the
of course.
for the whole process, like probably 90%, 95% of the things are not fun, you know.
Yeah,
Sorry, since when I started this thing seriously, I I'm like I can't wait to go
no,
and produce music, because that's the fun part. That's what I love. That's what I
yeah,
really. That's the me that enables me to express whatever I feel or to make whatever I want. So the second before that piece of music doesn't exist, and that's the best
no,
feeling ever, I believe. At the same
yeah,
time, to reach your goals, so to let your music be heard, etc., you have to do the other 95, 90, 80% of the things that are not fun, you know.
yeah,
Of course, if you also
yeah,
love interacting with people or making content or making stories or whatever, and it's way better. But even on things that you don't like, you have to do it, because you know they will bring you to where you want to be, you know. So even if yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
go on.
yeah. So like it's like you hold that thought like making music is the best thing ever. So just by having that in your mind, that keeps you like beating off all the bad
Yeah, all the
things, like
struggles.
it's not fun doing this, not fun doing this, but you know that at the end of the day you can make music and that's the only thing that counts.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that also, like, So for a lot of things that I have to do, they are boring for the most, that are at least not fun, like exercising, like DMing people, answering emails, DMs, comments, uploading videos, creating content, etc.
Yeah.
For all day long, I'm starving, like to then make music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm really so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And that's even better for me because it actually reveals how much you actually love doing a thing.
Yeah.
So I will do my best. I will work harder and harder and harder every day to make like making music my main activity in order for me to, like, in I don't know, in 2 years, in 5 years, to be able to afford a video editor, or I don't know, someone who helps me in some ways doing the boring stuff. But I cannot afford him or her if first I don't make it, like, with my own efforts. You know what I'm saying? So even if, like, most of the times it could be like really hard and not fun, but that shows if you really love it and if you're meant to, like, pursue a career in whatever it is. In this case, it's music, or not. You know, like Gary Vee says, laziness is positive because it exposes you, you know. Like, it actually reveals, because if you're lazy about a thing, then probably it's not for you, or you're not doing that in the right way. You know, so that's what I believe.
He talks about other stuff as well. It's like, if you want to, like, he says, like, it should be hard to become great, because, or else everyone would be great, and then it wouldn't be great to be great. I mean, it has to be hard to become successful.
Absolutely, bro. Like, dude, like, if we talk about Gary Vee, man, I mean, I could talk, like, about him for hours. Like, he is probably, I don't want to act as a fangirl, but really probably his vision, him and another couple people, like, really helped and changed my way of approaching so many things in life. Like, I remember last November, so almost a year ago, that I was, like, struggling and facing a really bad period of, you know, depression, not as the one I mentioned, but like a very, very difficult period. And I discovered him with one of his most famous videos, with him talking to the 22-year-old girl. I don't know if you ever saw it, but the title is a bit clickbait. It's like, I don't remember at the moment, but it's like, what every 20-year-old guy should hear, or something like that. And dude, that video, I don't want to exaggerate, but kind of changed my life. Like, the vision that I have on some things, and then the fact that from then I started following him, but also I started listening to podcasts. I got back to reading books. I got back, you know, and now, after a year, if I look at me back 1 year ago, I feel that, you know,
progressed and changed a lot.
I grew up more in this year than I grew up from 16 to 24. Like, really, dude. I'm 27, by the way. So really, dude, like, it was so, like, game changing for me that I couldn't even, like, believe it was happening, and that it happened, you know.
I felt the same. Like, I started I I was so unmotivated with music like in the beginning of this year because I've been in a metalcore band for like 10 years,
Oh,
writing
okay.
songs, been a drummer, been a vocalist, all of that. Then
Awesome.
and then I started a project with my brother, like Swedish pop music.
Uh-huh.
But I've always felt like you have to drag people, and that was the thing that depressed me. I've never found someone who's been as passionate about making music and taking it to the next level that how I'm gonna do this. Then I'm just decided for myself I have to do everything on my own. So I started the Instagram channel, and I started learning how to produce music, and after that I found Gary Vee and all that, just all those big guys just motivating me, like you know, just listening to the things that he says, like it has,
Yeah.
as you said, like changed me so much, like the perspective that I have on things. Like before, when I felt that I'm tired, or you could complain about that, but now I'm like, hey, I'm tired, but I'm in Sweden. I get like medical care for free. I have food on the table. I have everything to do what I love. I just have to wake up like 1 hour earlier to produce some music, and just to do some of
Yeah.
the stuff. It's like, that perspective game changer. That was like, awesome.
Yeah. I definitely can relate, dude. Like,
Yeah,
what I like kind of feel that, here in Italy, the problem that we kind of have is that there are not so, at least from what my experience is,
yeah,
because I worked with a lot of people here in Italy as well. But at the end, I've always found myself better with people like from outside,
yeah,
like with foreign people. Like I always found myself great with Americans, and it's also like half of my audience, more than half of my audience right now on Instagram and on all my social platforms and
yeah,
YouTube, whatever. It's more than half, and it's not to just talk shit about my country or
no,
anything, because we got the best food in the world. But besides that, I
yeah,
feel that I've always felt that here there wasn't so much to do with any kind of music,
yeah,
and so yeah, well, one of my goals as well is to move to Northern Europe like in a year or two, and then as soon as I can, move out to the US. But
yeah,
that's another thing.
yeah,
And but yeah, I mean the things you said, like, definitely, bro. You know that
yeah,
I
yeah.
can definitely relate.
Awesome. We've been a bit serious now, so we're gonna jump into the speed questions. So the rules,
Okay,
yeah,
what's
speed
that? What's
questions.
that? Tell me.
Yeah. So it's like you choose one, and the other option disappears forever. So you have to choose one.
Okay,
Oh,
let's do
okay.
it.
Yeah. So virtual sounds or recorded sounds,
Recorded sounds,
sematics or splice,
cymatics all the life.
Google or YouTube,
YouTube.
reverb or distortion,
Fuck. Reverb.
reverb. Yeah. Phone or computer.
Computer.
All right. Yeah. Let's discuss this one. The first one,
Awesome.
virtual sounds or recorded sound. You chose recorded sounds.
Okay, it's because I love working with samples
Yeah.
and working with like especially yeah, samples in general.
Yeah.
And I love them both. Of course, I love
Yeah.
starting from scratch. From I don't know, some chords that I write or a melody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really love to tweak samples to to do all sorts of stuff with them.
Yeah.
And so if I have to choose, I would probably go with recorded samples.
Yeah. Awesome. I think I would choose the
What
same.
about you?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, I've been I've been with a producer a lot, and it always feels better when you record a sound in some way than if you just make it virtually. I don't know why that is, but maybe it's because you make it yourself and that it's your own sound. I don't know, but it
And
just
because after all, we're human,
yeah,
so we feel it differently probably.
yeah, yeah. And semantics or splice, and you said semantics pretty fast.
Cymatics, bro. Cymatics is like just a game changer for everything, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like in the production game, like
yeah,
it's something that especially like I don't know. It seems they followed my path as well, because
yeah,
when I was making electronic music, they were making packs for electronic music. When I
yeah,
started getting serious about beats and I started launching Dr. Aven, they started making like hip hop and trap packs and
yeah,
sample
yeah,
packs and sound banks, whatever.
yeah,
And I learned so much from them, from like a marketing standpoint. I believe Steven is actually a marketing genius. I
yeah,
mean, it doesn't do like something crazy, but what he does and how he speaks and how he acts is like such a
yeah,
great way, and also Drew, that is a crazy sound designer, and
yeah,
they both got such a huge vision, and they basically started with nothing,
yeah,
and in just 3 years
yeah,
they are like the probably one of the most known companies in the industry, and if not the most known as of now. I
yeah.
mean, there are like bigger companies and whatever, but
Of
on a
course.
matter of an impact and on on how they create content and whatever, they are probably the biggest at the moment.
Yeah, because I feel the thing that I feel the most with cymatics and their stuff is like you get the feeling that they really care about the music community.
Yeah.
They really do care. Like that's the feeling that I get.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I believe that that also, the I was listening to a podcast like 20 minutes ago or
Yeah,
an hour ago of Gary Vee, and he said, it doesn't matter if you do it for a selfish or selfish
yeah,
purpose, until you're making something good for people. So I believe, from like my point of view, I believe that whether they are doing that for only for getting money, or because they really care, they really love helping people, which I kind of believe.
yeah,
But even if they are doing just for the money, they're doing good to people,
yeah. It
good
doesn't.
to our community. So it really doesn't matter.
No,
And
no.
dude, like they've been doing such a crazy good work that
Yeah. It's so
nobody else has
much.
done.
There's so much truth in everything Gary Vee says, but it's like
Yeah,
every
dude.
time he speaks, it's like I'm getting like, yeah, that's how the world works. It doesn't matter, and
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
it's weird.
Absolutely.
But you,
That's like that.
yeah. So Google or YouTube, I don't know if I can live with I don't know if I can live without either. But you chose YouTube in the as your choice.
Yeah, because in this moment I would say Twitch.
Yeah,
Because I'm so like, probably the only hobby that I have at the moment is watching streamers playing games or just talking, and
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
thing I want to do as well in the future. And but yeah, between Google and YouTube, probably YouTube, because yeah, as well as Twitch is just like the only hobby that I have.
Yeah.
So watching videos, whether it's for work, whether it's for like learning new stuff,
Yeah.
or whether it's for, you know, just entertaining purpose. Like I don't watch Netflix, I don't watch movies at all. And you know, I just watch Twitch or YouTube, or
Yeah.
I'm working. So
Yeah.
or I'm with my girlfriend, of course. But
Yeah.
you know, and it is either the three of these. So
Yeah, because lately I've felt like, you know what, you Google stuff when you want to get knowledge, but then you, after you Google something, you end up on YouTube anyhow, because it's, you know, I feel that I get knowledge better if someone shows and tells and talks about it instead of just reading about stuff. I've never, when I read about stuff, it's not the same for me. I can't get the knowledge in the same way. So
yeah.
that's why I like YouTube the most.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like having a person talking to you, it's quite different from, you know, learning something in like reading, at least, yeah, for me and for you too. But, you know, there could be like other people, like, yeah, for example, my girlfriend, which is studying like physical engineering. So she's like fucking crazy to study that stuff. She, for example, likes more reading and gets more reading besides instead, you know, watching video courses and stuff. But you know, everyone is different, but for sure I'm 100% a video guy.
Yeah. And reverb and distortion, we talked you chose the reverb, but it, I mean, that's you can't live with neither as well. Like you can I don't know. You know, you need that distortion.
Yeah, exactly. It's really difficult. If I have to think, because I work in Ableton, I don't really use much of the distortion, so the overdrive that it's in the Ableton DAW, but I use more the reverb. Probably the plugin I use the most is the EQ and the multi-band compressor. So between reverb and distortion, I would definitely say reverb. Yeah, but just because of that.
Yeah. And phone or computer?
Yeah, it's computer, because I believe that you still can do a lot of things more compared to what you can do with your phone.
Yeah. It's true.
That's because of it. Yeah. At the moment, I don't know in 5 years, but
yeah, maybe like in 5, 10, 15 years, we'll be sitting and making music on our phones instead.
With our brain and without moving our hands. Absolutely.
Let's see what the future holds for us.
It's gonna be crazy, I'm sure.
So we're gonna jump into some serious questions again. So tell me a bit about your plans for the future.
Okay. So first is survive. No, I'm kidding. No. So future plans. I'm planning, of course, to like complete my challenge. So the 366 daily beat challenge. So posting beats for 1 year. That's the goal that at this moment is the most clear. Then of course I want to start making YouTube videos. And I don't know when I will start. I'm probably thinking about making a vlog, sort of vlog, in which I tell a little bit my story and how I got to the 366 challenge, and start with that, and then maybe start making, like, I don't know, beat making videos or blogs or all the stuff. And then after that, I would love to start streaming as well. So on Twitch, which I believe that it's probably a thing that I really, really it's probably my ultimate goal if I have to think about what to do like as a kind of day job. Like, so just putting myself in here for 4, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, like streaming, making music, listening to other guys' beats, react to songs, and maybe play some video games as well. I don't know. But that for sure would be like my ultimate goal. And for the rest, I'm starting a how can I call it? Like a little company with a friend of mine, which relates to all that regards the sound design and the movie scoring and the so always something music related. But yeah, so just like developing that project as well. And what else? Yeah, move out of Italy in 2 years. Hopefully with my girlfriend as well, and get rid of my day jobs, like because I didn't tell you this, but I work as an English teacher here in Italy. And also I have like other freelance jobs. Like it's not my day job, is not a job that I go, like a school that I go to every day. It's like I have, I don't know, 10 lessons during the week and 1 hour there, 2 hours there, private students and stuff like that. And I also work as a video editor for some people and different people. And so basically, another goal would be just like, to get rid of all these activities that I do on the side, and just so for me to focus only on music.
Because I feel that, because what I feel now, because I have a 9-to-5 job at the moment.
Okay.
But what I feel like is the only time I can take for my music career or the podcast and everything, the only time that I can steal anywhere from is from the time I spend with family and with my girlfriend. So it feels bad for me sometimes when I have to, I have to work on Sundays, and I have to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I usually Friday and Saturday I spend with my girlfriend only. Like I don't work Friday, Saturday. But still it feels like, that's a lot of time. I wouldn't say lost, because I do believe that
you have
someday
to make money.
But at the same time, I can't live without making music or trying to make a career of this. So at the same time, as Gary Vee says, like the biggest thing you can do for your loved ones is to be like selfish and do what you love, because you won't resent anyone in the end, and you won't hold grudges to people if you at least have the opportunity to try for like 5-10 years to create your passion.
Absolutely, dude. By the way, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Yeah, so we're kind of the same age. So before getting into a sort of mentality, I was like considering myself like really old. Like not really old, but like kind of old. But at the same time, if I have to think like about like in 5 years, I'm gonna be 32, not 82. So fuck that, bro. I can always do something else. If I fail for 5 years straight, for 10 years straight, I will still be under 40. And probably the most inspiring story the story that inspires me the most is the story of KFC. I don't know if you know that story.
No, I don't know.
Of that guy that actually was working a normal job until he was 66.
Yeah.
or a little bit less, but that was the age. And then at 66, he bought a camper, like a van or something.
Yeah.
And he started traveling through all the US, and 1,009 people declined his recipe for fried chicken.
Yeah.
And then he became KFC
Yeah.
at 66. Dude,
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Yeah.
So unless you're fucking, down deep on a grave,
Yeah.
like you still have time to make your things, and you still have time to fail, and you still have time
Yeah.
to do everything in your life possibly wrong,
Yeah.
and still go out there and succeed. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's
Like
just
it's
keeping,
something.
yeah, just keeping
Yeah.
that mindset, that because in the podcast I talked with Larry Owen, he said like you have to suck through the gate for like 3-5 years. You have to suck and not become successful, but then
Yeah.
maybe it takes more than 5 years, maybe it takes 10 years, but it doesn't matter as long as you try to become better, if you always try to progress, because it all comes down to that, like trying to become better, seeing what I've done wrong and doing something about that and becoming better. I think if you have that mindset, the world is your oyster.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I so much agree with that, bro. Like, uh, the thing is also that, like, for me at least, coming from like a family which, was always like very bad at a lot of stuff like managing money, or
Yeah.
like sticking to a plan and stuff like that. I mean, I didn't have such huge traumas like addictions in my family or stuff like that, but you know all my family, at least the majority of it, like they are all kind of workers,
Yeah.
like employees, except for my uncle that now at 47 he's building a company,
Yeah.
and he always worked by his own. But you know, from what I feel is that I have to make more efforts compared to other people to make it.
Yeah.
Because it's not even an excuse. It's just the reality.
Yeah.
I've been raised in an environment which gave me a lot of positive things,
Yeah.
but at the same time a lot of different things
Yeah.
from what I want to achieve, where I want to go, etc.
Yeah.
So I was always free to do whatever I want, and I'm so glad about that.
Yeah.
But nobody taught me about financial education, about how to stick to a plan, how to,
No.
for example, how to fight judgment,
Yeah.
because that's probably one of the most, crazy things that we face at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I realized I have been so much conditioned by judgment
Yeah.
that I couldn't even believe it myself. Because since when I was like 21, 22, I started developing like a kind of strong personality. And so I was sure that I wasn't afraid of judgment at all.
No.
Instead, I saw that, dude, if I am like, shit, I am so fucking scared of judgment.
Yeah.
And then I started working on this, and
Yeah.
because it's something that, like, for example, in my family, it's something that I call a shadow. So
Yeah.
a shadow that follows the family, and judgment is for sure one of these.
Yeah.
And I believe this is a problem of like most people,
Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately.
Because I felt like if I used to go back like 10 months or a year, I felt like, I felt this like I have to make everything perfect. I can't release something
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
don't do everything like utterly perfect. And once I've listened to Gary Vee, and I just felt like, this is what it is now. I you can't of course you're gonna achieve to become great, but perfect is not existing. It's
It
like
doesn't exist. Yeah,
it's only in the eyes of the ones watching your stuff and listening to your stuff that can decide if something is good, great, or bad. I mean,
and still it's something
yeah,
subjective,
yeah, yeah. So you shouldn't be afraid of judgment, because I've been afraid of judgment all my life, of
Yeah,
everything I've done.
same.
Like if I'm gonna be bad, or if anything is gonna be, if anything is gonna be bad or look bad, or all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Like, really, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, really, it doesn't matter. I mean, until you're good with yourself
Yeah,
and you didn't make something very bad to anyone
yeah,
or stuff like that, I mean, what the hell is the problem?
yeah,
That's what I've been asking myself
yeah,
for like a year or so, you know, because still it's not something, and another thing is not something that goes away the moment you realize it, you
mm,
know. Personally, I've been working on this, like this focused from a year,
yeah,
but I'm sure I will have to keep on working on that for years and years and
yeah,
years,
yeah,
getting better every day. It's just the same exact thing for all the other great things that you want to achieve, you
yeah,
know. If
yeah,
you want to free yourself of judgment, you have to stick to, getting better at it, you
yeah,
know. And it's like you maybe make 2 steps forward, then one day you make 3 steps back in a second, but then you maybe make 5 steps forward, and so on.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
the most important thing is that you keep on, you keep straight on your path,
yeah,
and you adjust, but
yeah.
you keep on going,
Yeah, yeah, for real, for real. Yeah. So, what do you see that fellow producers struggle with at the moment? What have you seen so far? What's the biggest struggle that you see out there?
uh, I believe I don't know. I believe it's something that is common to all artists,
Yeah,
which is probably, as I said, loving the process,
yeah,
being willing to make sacrifices, and I don't know. I feel that the thing that today everything is under like our eyes. All right.
yeah,
So
yeah,
all the success, all the cars, the watches, the girls, the X3X platinum records are under our eyes.
yeah,
I feel that artists and producers are like not getting inspiration, so
mm,
not trying to try to get how this or that people went from here to here,
yeah,
but the how can I say, but they only watch at the at the current situation that those
yeah,
people have, so they aren't willing to do what like is like necessary
yeah,
to achieve even a part of it. And starting from just also answering the comments under your posts, like if you start today, you'll probably have 0 comments, 2 likes, and 3 views.
yeah,
But then the next day you may have 1 comment, and if you don't answer to just 1 comment, how could you like think that people will get back to you,
yeah,
that that person will watch the next video? Maybe she or he won't, but if you answer back in a decent way, at least
yeah,
saying thank you, like it's enough, I believe.
yeah.
most people are not willing to, are struggling to, and like I received some DMs. I mean, I'm not, as I already told you, I'm not like a huge producer or whatever, but still at my level, I sometimes get DMs with producers or rappers as well, asking me like, dude, like, can you give me some advice on this song? And then after that, how can I release it, or what should I do with this? Or
Yeah.
so just start simple. Just post a thing and try to engage with all the people that interact with it. You don't get comments, watch the likes and DM those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I sometimes myself feel that the market, especially for producers, is kind of saturated. You know, I feel it sometimes. I have to be like really honest. I feel that it's very difficult to sell beats, even if I sell them. Sometimes. I mean, I don't sell like Legion beats or whatever, but I sell some beats. And but for example, the thing I feel in some very like dark moments is that oh fuck that, bro, like rappers only want free beats. They won't even buy like I don't know, they won't even spend $20 for a lease, and I will get them one for free, etc. Yes, but if you brand yourself, if you establish like good relationships with people, then it's another thing. Then people are willing to pay you. If the money is the struggle, which is for most of producers. If of course you have to have like good quality beats, because then the rapper won't ask his cousin. He or she wants your beat, and he or she is willing to pay you, not her or his cousin. And that's one thing. Second thing is just actually build real relationships. I started like, if I don't know if you want to ask me something, but I wanted to tell you a little bit how I network with people and stuff like that, if it's good for you. So basically, when I started Dr. Aven, I started like DMing like 20-30 people a day, following hashtags, for example. And this is I think it's a good strategy. So go find hashtags, like big hashtags like SoundCloud rapper or just rapper or whatever. DM, like scroll through them, select who to DM or not, and DM, like just start with 5 people, 10 people. At the moment, I'm still doing this because I'm an upcomer. So DM them and try to engage with them. Like since when I started, like the majority of them didn't even answer. The majority of them didn't even get a beat of mine at the end. But with some people, maybe 10 out of, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 that I hit, I still talk to today. And I'm slowly building a good relationship with them. Also, another thing is try to get stuff out for free. So if you really like, for example, a rapper, an artist, and you see that he or she doesn't have a budget or whatever, try offering them beats for free. And that doesn't mean that you are not worthy of $20, $30 of lease. It means that you are willing to help the person. In fact, I did that like sometimes, and most of the times, those people that at first couldn't afford to pay me, then they bought some beats out of nothing. And I was like, dude, did you really buy that? Yeah, I just got some money from this job I got, and I thought that would be a good idea to just give you something back. It's crazy how like doing something good for people will actually pay you back. But you don't have to pretend it. Because if you then pretend it, I don't know, I believe there's something that people could feel that is not genuine, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to get in that mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's some really good advice, and I really do believe what you said about like how people feel or react to how you are as a person. Because if you don't have the true mindset of like, I'm gonna help this person with this, then they're gonna feel it like instantly.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And it's something that personally I have it. I feel I have it in myself.
Yeah.
But there's nothing bad in being selfish. My advice to the producers could be try to become also as sincere, as genuine as possible. Because if you don't have it on yourself, it's good. But if you feel that is something good, because I believe doing good for people is one of the best things ever, then try to do it genuinely. And the more you do it, the better you will become. But it's not acting, is that you will become a better person helping other people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you will find yourself really liking that process. That's what happened to me. At first I did it because I felt like a little bit forced, you know,
because you need to, like,
because I need to engage with people and blah, blah, blah. So I was like really selfish, which still I am, but I started enjoying really giving out to people. And when that switch comes, then when you don't pretend anything back, that's the moment when probably things, you know, start to get better for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm gonna jump into between a rock and a hard place.
Awesome.
So this
What's that?
So this, I'm gonna give you two options, which both are pretty bad, but you have to choose one.
Okay.
So the first one is lose your legs and be able to make music, or have your legs and never be able to make music.
Lose my legs.
Okay. Yeah. Get all the equipment you want for your studio, but you can never be famous. Or work with only a simple computer and you will have the chance.
The second.
Yeah. Move to Siberia to live off your music. Stay where you're at now and work with music as a hobby.
Siberia.
Okay. Yeah. So lose your legs over music. That wasn't hard for you.
No, because it's sometimes, some days I feel like quite like that. I mean, that I'm so fucking much like in this exact chair that
wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't matter. No, I mean, of course, like that would be like I will kill myself. But you know, like if I don't have to think and just to give you an answer, that's the first I would give.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I would. It would be it would be really hard for me, like, to lose my legs, but I would think if I wasn't able to make music, I would probably kill myself anyway. So
yeah, exactly, dude, exactly.
But I live in like the third floor, so I don't know how I would get up on the of all the stairs.
You won't go out.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, yeah. So get all the equipment you want for your studio, or like just work with the simple computer.
Yeah, the second, because I believe you can do everything with just a laptop. You know? There are people making hits with their phones. So
yeah, but the thing is, like, you rather be, or maybe famous is the wrong thing, but you want to live off your music. That's the
make
thing.
Good money out of music, live off of it. Yeah.
So that's the same. Yeah, so that's the same thing with moving to Siberia, even though it's like 60 Celsius
Yeah, minus
minus up
60.
there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Probably, probably,
yeah,
probably I will do that. I don't
yeah,
know, but probably I would do that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
hate the cold, but I can get used to it.
yeah, of course.
Uh,
So, where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you just give me like the visuals, what do you see? Where do you see yourself in
uh,
5 years?
look, just give me a second because I
Yeah,
have a little. Okay, so I have my plan for the written down for what I want to achieve from here to 5 years.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, of course, it's something like just that I just written, but I really like to write things down.
yeah,
It really helps me in some ways.
yeah,
Of course, for sure, for the more short term things, but I just like to write. So I can read that for you. So in five
yeah,
years, I would like to have financial freedom, happiness, and be. What the fuck? Okay, I want to actually have a kind of big YouTube channel and Twitch channel
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
And on a matter of where I see myself physically
yeah.
in 5 years, I would love to, but probably it's really difficult. I would love to, to move to the US.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably something that is not gonna happen in 5 years,
It's pretty
but I
hard
don't
there
know.
to get. It's pretty hard to get like green card in the US.
Yeah, the green card is hard, but you can actually manage to go there with a visa, working visa, and then
Yeah,
renovate it, and then so you have to have like some connections,
yeah,
which is possible because, for example, has what's his name, Young Kyo,
yeah,
the guy who produced Old Town Road.
yeah,
For example, him right now that he produced that hit, for sure he has like so many contacts, working contacts, and
yeah,
people
yeah,
that he knows, that then he can get sponsored to
yeah,
get a working visa and stuff like that.
yeah,
So my plan is to just try to build an audience in there, as basically Ed is doing, Ed
yeah,
Talenti is doing. Like, he's making videos and content in English, first because he's good at English, but second because he also lived in the US.
yeah,
And but because like he wants to be as wide as possible, so
yeah. Of
making
course.
stuff in Italian wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Same thing for me. And especially for the fact for me that I want then to be able to work with as many American people as possible, and then maybe have the chance to get there. I don't know if in 5 years. I mean, it could,
yeah,
like, the next Lil Nas X could be buying a beat from my beat store in this moment, but I
yeah,
don't know. Of course, that is one out of, I don't know, thousands of
mm,
producers.
yeah,
But I believe that that story could like inspire us, like, to just keep on going.
yeah,
And yeah, and long story short, I have this goal to work with as many American people as possible, and then try to get there already working, with music only. Because if you
mm,
go there and work to fucking Starbucks,
yeah,
then you probably miss a lot of stuff.
yeah. So, what's I love that you want to go to S, but is it like US? But is it why just the why do you want to go to the United States of all the places? Do you feel like that's the place to be with in the music world, or why just the US? Because your followers are there. Or what drives you to the
Uh,
United States?
a lot of stuff, actually.
Yeah,
I want to be there because I've been there already, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
yeah,
And I've been touring for the whole country for like 22 days, and it was like, even if it wasn't like made with the best people I was around with,
yeah,
probably was the best tour and the best experience I had in my life.
yeah,
And because I feel so much closer with the American mentality on a certain level, like
yeah,
on an artistic and freedom level. Of course, they have their very bad things, but
yeah,
on this level, I feel way closer to them
yeah,
compared to the Italian way of thinking, or the
yeah,
majority of
yeah,
Europeans. And it's not something that I hate Europeans and I love Americans. I love everyone, but I feel myself like more like closer to
yeah,
that mentality. And and then because I also feel that there are more opportunities. Like a drummer friend of mine actually moved to LA like 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
yeah,
and he's like a kind of big drummer in the metal scene,
yeah,
and he's working with his music. And but he also told me back then that it was worth it to move there if he already had like something, and
yeah. Of
he
course.
did.
Yeah,
And so that's basically the reasons. I've been following like almost only Americans, like in music production and in I don't know, everything else, like except for some I don't know, Italian YouTubers or whatever, but
yeah,
that's just entertainment,
yeah. Of course.
like
Yeah,
for working reason. I feel myself so much in line with the American way of thinking that
yeah,
is also in Europe replicated. In fact, I want to move there, in the Netherlands, in Belgium,
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Like I feel that is another very good place to live, and I will
Mm.
probably, hopefully, move there in the next year or two.
Yeah, cool, cool. So our time is pretty much running out, but I just want to give you the opportunity to like, if you have any good tips for fellow producers out there trying to make music. So do you have
Okay.
anything that you feel like, oh, this you should know this, or this is a good way to think about stuff, or like just if you have any good tips for fellow producers?
Okay. So I believe, like, the first thing, like, if anyone's listening,
Yeah,
wants to start making beats tomorrow or just started, get good beats. Like, it takes time to
yeah,
learn how to make a good beat.
yeah,
Of course, you never stop learning, but it takes a lot of time to make a beat and think, okay, this sounds decent.
yeah,
I'm in a
yeah,
moment that, I've been producing for 4 years. I've been in music for, I don't know, 20 years. I don't know how many. But I'm in a moment in which sometimes I also make something that I can say I like.
yeah,
But
yeah,
after, 4 years of producing, other 10 years on being, only into music and just closed
yeah,
into the music environment. So after 14, 15 years, I now sometimes feel I kind of like something I make.
yeah, yeah,
So just focus on the quality of your beats, and and just make a ton, like make 100, 200, 300 beats that suck,
yeah,
and then you'll see you'll get better and better and
yeah,
better. Another thing is, as I said before, just try to be as genuine, as spontaneous as possible. Try to network with as many people as you can.
Yeah.
There is no short way. Like slow and steady wins the race. Like it's always like that. You gotta be patient. You gotta be passionate, and everything will go like as it should. You know,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you like, but so. Get in mind that nothing comes easy, especially in this kind of industry, you know.
Yeah.
So my advice would be just like try to build human like relationships with people, with artists, with producers, network with as many people as possible. Talk to also other people like videographers, YouTubers, influencers, video makers, whatever, actors, movie actors, whatever. And another tip that I could give is get on TikTok and on LinkedIn as soon as possible.
Yeah.
As soon as possible. Because those two are two platforms, especially TikTok for producers, are two platforms that are like basically starting. So there's way more chance to get noticed in there to, you know, than on Instagram or Facebook. That is actually quite bad, except for the ads. And yeah, like also, if I can add another thing, like try to be as open as possible for anything. Just listen to like different genres of music, listen to podcasts, watch videos, study. If you want to get into the marketing side of things and you've never done that before, study also how, not only how the producers or rappers are like, you know, are doing it, but study also like other companies, other fields. Start how the, you know, I don't know, how do they like sell, study the marketing of Coca-Cola or Nike or Puma or I don't know, study something else. Just be as open as possible. That's my 2 cents, you know, and just be genuine. And the more empathetic and real you are, the more people will feel it, and the more you'll probably get closer to your goals.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the tips. It's been awesome having you here, Alessandro.
Absolutely. It was like a pleasure, and I'm like, I would love to do that, like, I don't know, in a year and see where we at.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I imagine you like with this great studio and all the stuff, and you know, I would definitely looking forward to like redo this like in 1 year and see where we at. That would be amazing.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that, like maybe in a year or something, who knows, maybe you've blown up and become like this super awesome producer. You're talented now, but maybe you're really famous in 1 year, and we're talking then, and you sit in like a crib in Miami or whatever. But let's see. Let's see what the future holds.
Yeah, maybe the same happens to you. Yeah. And so I just wanted to like really thank you for having me here. And I really, so as I already said, also in my stories on Instagram, I really appreciate the work you're doing, the efforts you're making to just like give our community like all this stuff for free, bro. Like it's amazing. And like if I can help you in any way, you know, you can count on me. And that's it. If I can, I can just tell your followers and our listeners where to find me.
Yeah, of course, you do that.
So you can find me actually at dr.avenbeats, so dr.avenbeats, and on Instagram, and then YouTube, SoundCloud, AudioMac, which is a platform to keep an eye on as well. If you are in keeping an eye on AudioMac, it's crazy because I didn't say this, but I've got like almost 10K plays on my whole catalog, and I only have like 6 followers. So the organic reach of that platform, and I, of course, I didn't buy that. The organic reach of that platform is something crazy. Then you can get me on, of course, on TikTok and on LinkedIn. On TikTok, I will soon start posting videos, like funny videos. So be on the lookout of them. And it's at dr.avenbeats, Dr. Aven Beats.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Alessandro, and see you another time.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers, brother. Bye.